Did you get what you need? So.
If you put it in that one, that was square.
Yeah. How did you go to it? Is it level? Well, there's no smooth surface. Is the problem.
This one's probably.
Do you want me to hold it? Someone's hold it. I'm sure you've got many willing volunteers doing it if you want us to get out of the way. Yeah, I think so. Every chamber looks really good. Whilst gears look smaller than I thought. Yeah. Every chamber feels bigger than I thought it would be. Even though I've read the dimensions and measurements and know exactly how big it is, it just feels bigger. And then Corey felt quite small inside. It just feels grand. It feels great. It's the Great Pyramid.
Matt Sibson from Ancient Architects. Why don't you tell us a bit about what's going on at the floor here inside the Queen's Chamber?
Well, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it, to be honest?
What's the story over here?
New one scanning. This is the niche goes back, I think the length of about two double-decker buses back, dug out, treasure hunting. But why they're dug here is because of this, because of the shape, even though there's something there. We think this was Aladree's sarcophagus. This was what me and Doug from History for Granite discussed at length for one evening on a Saturday on Twitter, just back and forth. And I think Aladree's was mistaken that there wasn't a sarcophagus inside, but that was his sarcophagus. This was the excavation done by Göbekli in the early 19th century. Now covered over with these wonderful slabs that blend in so well with the chamber. Can't even tell there's an excavation in it. It goes down a few meters. Apparently nothing was found, but there was a German bishop or a priest that apparently came in during excavations, and he said he saw something at depth, a chamber, a marble-covered room, and that's all he said. And nothing, and no one else corroborated him. So whether it's just he was mistaken, because people were mistaken, or whether there is something down there, we'll never know. Vice said there wasn't anything down there, so it's one person's word against the other. Vice is pretty credible as a source, so I've got no reason to dispute him, but one person did disagree. And there we go, this is the Queen's Chamber. And inside there, in the XT, is Simpson's window. I'm going to keep sexing. The more I say it, the more it gets into people's consciousness, because why not?
Yeah. You tell a lie enough times, it becomes the truth.
Tell a lie enough times, it becomes truth. Everyone believes it.
This is the way to the famous Simpson's window.
What we call the opening, NEXT's hole.
A-hole for short. Oh, you should have got that on the video. That was funny. Does anybody have a light they can shine here real quick? Just want to get some more B-roll for this video. There we go, thanks. That should be good, thank you.
So was this, did it end here?
No, it goes further back.
No, originally, wasn't this a false door?
Not a false door. They dug further. There's a robbery.
Looks like you can see a cavity behind or something. Yeah. Whether it's so the wall's really thin.
Yeah, this is about 5 or 6 inches thick, and it opens up. Maybe some sand cavity.
Could be a sand cavity. Why is it so thin here? This is the most mysterious chamber ever. It's made like no other. The stones are kind of horizontally laid. They drilled in this wall here further down. Mm-hmm. That's where they found the sand eventually. There's still sort of plugs on the side of the wall. Can I get through, mate? Yeah. play through. I think that the floor might start with that step. That's the granite floor that starts there. Let it all out. Whether the floor was ever put down, again, no one knows. This room was a complete dump when it was found in the 19th century. It was full of rubble, rubbish. It was piled up. The walls were covered with a thick layer of salt, so that you could, from growing from all this humidity and naturally occurring limestone. Like you get in a basement, you get salt occurring in basements and cellars. So we had to clean the walls. Ali Dreezy did say he saw some hieroglyphs, but he calls them, I think it was not ancient writing, but the characters scrawled of the heathen priests, which I believe he meant Egyptian hieroglyphs on the ceiling. Obviously, anything would have gone by now. The salt would have destroyed any paints, any drawings, anything on the walls. So nothing remains on the ceiling, unless you've got a great eye and you can see it, but I very much doubt it. But yeah, he said the ceiling did have letters drawn onto it. That was a long time ago.
And tell us the history, the story of why there's an opening here to begin with.
I mean, people believe it was for a car statue. If this was going to be his burial chamber, that's where the statue would have gone. Like the one that we saw at the step pyramid of Djoser, where you had the two eye holes and the statue behind. People think that was going to be for that. So it's going to be sat in there, maybe a block covering it with two eye holes, looking into the chamber towards the sarcophagus. But obviously this wasn't used as a burial chamber, there's no evidence it ever was. So
but with the step pyramid, you'd be looking to the north at the circumpolar stars. What would the purpose be looking in this orientation? Because that wouldn't be north.
So yeah, that's the thing. There's lots of problems with the explanation of what this is. Because to be honest, no explanation really works. It's still a bit of a mystery. There's some people that think it actually held a piece of apparatus in there to help. You know, like something like logs in there, and it's something that we don't know exactly what it is. To sort of move the blocks in and out of the room, or to move the sarcophagus in and out. But again, it's all guesswork. We don't know a great deal.
And tell us a little bit about the excavation that took place here. Do you know about going back much?
Going back,
yeah.
It goes back. Is it in the 17th?
I think it's about 17. I forgot off the top of my head. We'll edit this. All right, tell me one more time. Go, start now.
But I think it was dug out in the 17th century. I could be wrong, the 18th century. But and it goes back really far. This little hole goes back like 2 London buses, London double-decker buses, and it goes back a long way. But at the end, nothing was found. There is some graffiti at the very end with 2 names of the guys that did it. It would have been an awful job to do, and no wonder Bias and Göbekli found this chamber to be full of rubble, because it would have come from there. It would have been excavating it out, backfilling it, chucking it in this room. So when they came in 100 years or so later, it was full of the rubble from that tunnel. But yeah, nothing was found in there. Nothing was found of note in the room. Obviously the shafts were found in the 19th century. As you can see, the block has actually been chipped away. So these originally, when Weiss drew his diagram of this chamber, there was no holes in the walls because he hadn't found them. It was just a limestone block. But somebody, John Dixon,
yeah.
pushed something through the block, pushed something through the gap between the 2 blocks. I noticed it carried on. And then I guess maybe he put his torch up to it to see if there was any light through. Anyway, he thought, I'll smash through here, see if I can find the shaft, like the King's Chamber, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's a shaft. And you see it looks really rough, really crude, because that is somebody smashing through there. And then he thought, if there's one on this side, like the King's Chamber, there might be one on the other side. So he turned around, went over there, and found one pretty much directly lined up, same height, same level. But that one seems slightly wider at the opening, this one seems slightly narrower. And what it's used for, again, was it an air shaft used during construction? Maybe. It is blocked at the end, there's a door at the end, so it wasn't bringing any air in now. Was it what Houdan believes? Was it a way to communicate with people across the construction site? So could somebody shout at the top and the echo comes through to here, and then they can talk to each other? So over a long distance you can talk from the voice vibrating through this small hole. Was it symbolic, like Boval and probably even Hawassa said, where it lines up to the stars? I don't think it lines up to any stars because it bends and in all sorts of directions, so I don't think it's a star shaft. And it doesn't leave the pyramid. So, what it's for? It's up to you to decide.
The King's air shafts, they bend as well.
They all bend. They're all crooked. There's little bends in them, and there's tiny gaps, and so.
Yeah, that's the like
Again,
the stars.
The simplest explanation is they are air shafts to get air in, probably for the workers during construction. Simplest explanation might be the right one.
Can you tell us a little bit about Simpson's window and what that is? What's going on with that?
I think it was 2001. Another mission went inside here called Pyramid Rover, done by National Geographic and Zahi Hawass. And a new robot went inside. Gantenbrink's robot 10 years before couldn't get inside because there's a sharp bend and the robot just couldn't bend. So a new robot was made, it went in, it went all the way to the end, around the bends, and reached the second doorway, the second Gantenbrink door. I managed to get the pictures about 3 years ago, and these pictures haven't been released before, no one had seen them, and through there, up the shaft and around the first corner and on the right, there's a strange marking on the right hand side, like part of the shaft's come away. It looks quite sharp, like it's done on purpose. It doesn't look like a defect, so it could be a defect in the rock, and they just left it that way. We don't know what it is, to be honest, but it is a sort of a gap in the wall, and somebody named it Simpson's window because I showed it first on my YouTube channel, so I hope that name sticks. Thank you.
It's coming. How is here?
Who are we looking for?
The inspector. Oh, who's here? The inspector? Oh, yeah. Oh, Keith. What was Keith saying over here? What was that, Keith?
Well, I'm just saying this is all repaired. It used to be a major crack runs down the wall. There's another one there, and it came into this hole. So this is probably how they found it, because they put a bit of wire in through the crack.
Right.
Into this, and then took it away, and they found it was black soot in there. The pollution was getting into it. But when they cracked that one open, it was white limestone. It was well sealed. And then you know the copper handle and the wooden hooks. Some people think the two of them are connected. Apparently, one was found in one shelf, and one was found in the other, so they weren't connected.
Oh, there's one in each.
Yeah.
It is.
Subterranean's down below if you guys want to go. Is it open? Right? It's open. We need to move because not much time. We need to get 7, we've got about 20-30 minutes. It's a long way down. So if you want to go to the subterranean chamber, I'd recommend going right now.
Okay.
This is all right there. Well, that may never be late, but it could be.